All right, just waiting for YouTube to catch up. I was a minute or two behind here. And here we go. Hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube, where we're hanging out answering your Royal Caribbean Cruise questions. We're going to answer as many questions as possible. Start with the most important question. How many days to your next Royal Caribbean Cruise? Type your countdown in chat. Let us count down together. My next cruise coming up May 31st on the Ovation of the Seas. A little more than a month away. Very excited for that. I think we're like 40-something days away from that. And yeah, I don't have any cruises in April, which is crazy. But I'm certainly keeping myself busy. But hope you all have some great countdowns as well. Hope you're having a great week. Start your week, I should say. Happy belated Easter. Is that a thing? I don't know. But we're here. What is a thing? Answering your cruise questions. Feel free to type your questions in chat right now. Let's answer as many as we can. We actually had 2 super chats before the broadcast began. Big thank you to Captain Bob Dickens, as always. Bob, thank you, my friend. Bob says, is it true that this year I will hit Diamond, I get 1 free day of Wi-Fi? If so, how does that work? If you were to pre-purchase the Wi-Fi package at a time, do you give you credit for the 1 day? Good question. The answer is no, you don't get to use it pre-purchase. You do get a free day of Wi-Fi. Let me make this really easy for you, Bob. You get, as a Diamond member, you get 1 free day of Wi-Fi per person. So also your wife would get one as well. And basically, it's only available on board the ship. You cannot use it or combine it with anything pre-cruise. But the way it would work, Bob, is when you get on the ship, you would go to buy an internet package. And you have 2 choices, Bob. You could either do a 24-hour pass, and then you'll see it automatically apply the discount on there, or you could buy a internet package on board the ship, and you'll see basically the value of a 24-hour pass deducted from that purchase. It's automatic. You don't have to do anything. Basically, when you go to check out in the app, when you're on board the ship, it will make that change for you, or apply the discount, I should say. But in my opinion, Bob, you didn't ask me this, but I'm going to tell you this anyway. With the Diamond 1 day free day of internet, I still find it more often than not advantageous to pre-purchase, take advantage of the discount, because the onboard pricing can be that much higher. Especially, Bob, you can get it during Black Friday sale or one of those really lucrative deals out there. We also had a super chat from Nicole. Nicole, thank you for the super chat. Jewel in 17 days, Utopia in 349 days. Nice. That's awesome. Great ships. We have a great time there. And hello to everybody. Lots of friends joining us here. The Teresa McShane from MEI Travel. Hello and welcome. Todd Weichman is here. Kate Richardson is here. 100 Days to Lure in the Mediterranean. Ray and Nancy are here. Tony Crawford's here. Jonathan Fakes is here. Heavens to Betsy. Great name is here. So guys, type your questions in chat. We're going to answer as many as we possibly can. Heavens to Betsy. How does everyone know their countdown numbers? You could ask your phone, type it in, how many days until this date. I think most people just figure it out that way. The Royal Caribbean app does sometimes count it down when you go on the website, not on the app, which is strange. It doesn't have that feature. Craig Hart is here. Evelyn is here. Welcome, guys. Glad to have each and every one of you joining us. Lots of great countdowns. I love this. This is fantastic. Dylan, going on Wonder in 12 more days. Any suggestions on what bar and drink to start our vacation with? Ooh. I'm a big fan of the Trellis bar. If it's not too hot out, that's the only issue. But I will say Trellis bar, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with well, if you're boarding in the morning, a Bloody Mary. But I feel like it's not very hey, we're on a cruise drink. So Lava Flow with Kraken rum would be my choice. Otherwise, Dylan, go to the Lime and Coconut up on the pool deck. It's a good spot to start off. You want air conditioning, go to the Mason Jar Bar. That'll be open as well. We have a couple super chats just come in here. So let me scroll and get to those really quick. Ray and Nancy, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Matt. October Cruise, Labadee. It's not looking good, Ray. I mean, if I say I don't know anything more than you do. I think at this point, you guys saw this last week, Royal Caribbean is hitting the pause button on Labadee cruises. We don't know for how long, but they basically rerouted the ship like about 4 different sailings. I think there's a pretty low chance of us going there, quite frankly. But again, I don't know more than you do. It's just one of the with the awful things happening in Haiti. I hate to say it this way, but it's like there's bad things have been happening in Haiti for a long time. It's varying degrees of how bad, and right now it's pretty bad out there. And Keith Woodson, Keith, thank you for the super chat. On board Independence of the Seas right now. That's awesome, dude. Enjoy. I'm very jealous of you. Tweety, should I go on an Alaska cruise next or a European cruise? Oh, the answer is to go on both. You should do both right there. I think that's the responsible answer. Andrew, I know that Icon of the Seas has a family unisex bathrooms on board, but is that the only roller coaster with family bathrooms? No, there are family bathrooms on other ships. Andrew, what are they, Matt? Great question. I've seen them. I can't tell you definitively. Usually they're on the pool deck. I've seen them quite often up there. Oasis class ships, I'm pretty sure, have them by the pool deck. But no, there's others that have basically family bathrooms. Is usually the way that they're listed there, because they're ones that have extra space for changing whatever, whether it's on changing table or having your younger kids in there, but it can be used by anybody. There's no restrictions on it. Hannah, favorite ship or destination for a first-time cruiser on Royal Caribbean? Icon of the Seas. Anywhere it goes, doesn't matter. But Icon of the Seas would definitely be the play right there. We have some more super chats coming in. Let me get to those. We have a super chat. Oh, first of all, we have a club membership re-up from Jonathan. Jonathan, thank you very much. 2 months on the upcoming Independence Group cruise. Looks like Hamburg will be docked at Cruise Center Steinwerder, which is the furthest away. Will Royal Caribbean provide shuttle buses to town as they sometimes do? I am not sure, Jonathan. This is new to me as well. I suspect there will be some way. I mean, I don't know the answer. My thought with any port, whether it's Hamburg or Oslo, any of the ports we're going to, when you're not sure about where the ship is and how to get to where you're trying to go, worst case scenario, there's going to be some sort of a public transportation option. This is Europe. This is not like the Caribbean. The Caribbean, there's never any public transportation, right? That infrastructure does not exist. In Europe, it doesn't. When you're in Hamburg, this is not like, where Becky Mencken from MEI Travel lives in the middle of nowhere with a town name that nobody can pronounce. This is a major metropolitan area. So I'm not too worried about it, Jonathan. Maybe it'll cost a few shekels to get around there, but I really do believe that. I don't know the answer if it'll be free or not. I'm not worried about it logistically. I don't know if, my only other thought was to check last year's cruise compass, or of course, Jonathan, when some people start going on Independence this summer, because there'll be some sailings before us, maybe they can give us a heads up on that. John Grigorovich Sr., thank you for the super chat. If we win the Royal Up to a junior suite, will that give us double points? 39 Days of Symphony of the Seas. The answer is no. If you're roiling up from bidding to upgrade your cabin from a lower category stateroom, like a balcony or an ocean view, and you move up to a suite, you do not get double points. That is one caveat to that. Casey, do you know if the new Royal Beach Club in Nassau, Bahamas will be an excursion that could be sold out? Yes, 100%. Or will it be something you could book last minute? I mean, it's basically, Casey, you have it right the first time. It's a short excursion, right? It's run by Royal Caribbean, but it's a short excursion. And it could sell out months in advance. It could sell out at the last minute. I mean, it's like any short excursion in that manner, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I think you understand what I'm saying right there. Let's see here. Yoink. Does Royal Caribbean have half-day thrill? Did Royal Caribbean have a half-day thrill water park before? Just saw this the first time. Yes, they used to have it. When they first opened, they offered a half-day water park pass and a full day. And they got rid of the half-day one because they realized it's impossible to police the half-day people, because it was basically the honor system leaving there. So, yeah. Cruising with Kristen. Let me get a drink of water, by the way. Mark McChain, cheers. Hey, Matt, first time on Symphony in September with my entire family as newly minted Diamond members. Congratulations. We plan on taking a peek in the Diamond Lounge. How does it differ from other loyalty lounges? I mean, all Diamond or Crown lounges, what they're called now, they're all fairly similar. The biggest difference, they're a big room with chairs to sit in and hors d'oeuvres in the evening and waiter service in the evening as well. There's a coffee machine you can use. That's complimentary. Really, the difference between any Crown lounge, in my opinion, is either the size of it and or the views. Like on Voyager class ships, it's up in the Viking Crown lounge. Except for Allure, all the other Oasis class ships down on deck 4. So it's kind of, that's mostly more or less the same thing. By the way, congrats on becoming a Diamond member. I know our very own Kenny S in the chat recently became a Diamond member, and he treated his wife to a cruise on Utopia of the Seas without him. How benevolent of him. Christopher Bayona, what's up, man? Thank you for the super chat. Is it true they take drink orders at shows? They do in the beginning, before the show begins, but once the show begins, they pretty much don't take drink orders anymore. In a lot of cases, Chris, depending on the ship, the bar is like at the back of the theater, so you can certainly stand up and go get another drink. But in my experience, and when I was on Icon recently, this was the case. Once the show begins, there's no more drink service. They don't come around, and it's too disruptive. Ryan, does Royal Caribbean offer a service like Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique at Disney? I was thinking getting on a formal line to get good pictures of my daughters. So they have a salon on board. In the all the spas have a salon. It's not like, as ornate, well produced as Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, but there is a salon, and yes, you can bring your daughters in there and get their hair done. So yeah, absolutely, that's a great idea. It's just you go in there and book a reservation. It's pretty easy to get a spot in the salon, especially if you do it at the beginning of the cruise, because a lot of people don't even know it exists, let alone make reservations. Tony Crawford, thank you for being a club member for 8 months, brother. Appreciate you. Dude Matt, tonight is my 45-day check-in at midnight for my Anthem in Alaska. Oh, Tony, you do realize I'm assuming you're on the East Coast, because if you're on the East Coast, that midnight is really 3 a.m. It's midnight of the home port that your ship sails out of, which would be Seattle or Anthem in Alaska, Seattle. So it'll be 3 a.m. Eastern. My advice, just do it in the morning. Set an alarm or a reminder when you wake up in the morning. You'll be fine. But yes, you could wake up. You could stay up till 3 a.m. Eastern time and do that. Time to travel. Will Diamond Status help when making reservations for shows? No. All they have is reserved seating, so that if you kind of show up a little bit later, you have a spot. Might not be a great spot, but they have an area for that. Let's see here. Chris Moss. Chris, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, buddy. We have a lot of super chats. I got to catch up here. 69 days to Utopia, 76 to Jewel, 81 to Oasis, 89 is Celebrity Beyond. We are cruising all July. How does laundry work? What's the turnaround to get it back? Good question. So your stateroom attendant is your person for this. Basically, there is a bag in your cabin, usually almost always in the closet. It's a plastic bag, a little form to fill out. You take the bag, put the clothes in there, fill out the form, and the form is going to have you say, okay, you have this, these pieces of laundry in there, your name and all this. You have two choices there, Chris. You have the express option, which is like if you do it in the morning and comes back the same day, or the normal service. The normal service is you give it to them, like as an example, I always give mine in the evening. It'll come back the next day by 5 o'clock. And that's it. Just leave it in the, it's charged to your CPAS account. Pretty straightforward. But basically, if you don't do the express option, you'll get it back in about 24 hours or so. By basically dinner time the next day. And your stateroom attendant is your go-between for all of this. So pretty easy. Next question is, get a drink of water, and then I'm going to ask the next question. We have super chats, right? Forgot. Let me get to those. Fred Schreck. What's up, Fred? Just back from our cruise on Symphony of the Seas. Had fun. Awesome, dude. Go ahead. Now, here's a really important question, Fred. What do you have booked now? You got to have something else to look forward to. Thank you for that. The half day is back, KJ? Really? I believe you. I'm going to go look myself. Because that, my friends, is what we call a blog post tomorrow. There's something else that Royal Caribbean added recently. Man, they're getting the half day thing. If they did bring that back, is pretty interesting because I don't know how they police it. That was the reason they got rid of it. Was that it was like impossible. I mean, you can make an announcement. I guess you give it different wristbands. I guess. What's my next cruise? I'm going to Coco. Well, those aren't available yet. All right, let's check this one. Perfect day. Gonna be a perfect day. I only see now on the President's Cruise, I only see a full day pass. If y'all can send me a screenshot, KJ, if you can send me a screenshot, email it to me. P&K, thank you for the super chat. 61 and 69 days of the Independence of the Seas. Booked it before we knew about your group. No questions. Appreciate all you do. Selling Indy in 2010 and 2014. Looking forward to seeing you again. I'm looking forward to seeing you on board the ship, P&K. That'd be great. Awesome. I love it. Heavens to Betsy. Thank you for the super chat. Your recent article about the Royal Price Tracker saved us significant money. We canceled our ship tour and rebooked it at a lower price. There you go. I mean, I have no affiliation with that website whatsoever, but it's a great tool. I hope they don't get shut down, but that's awesome. Thank you for your generosity. If you haven't seen it, I posted an article on Saturday about the price tracker tool, which does all the work for you. Did I catch up on all the super chats there? No, Ronnie Bickers Jr. Hey, Ronnie, thank you for the super chat, my friend. How often do you end up with a cruise cough afterwards? Twice in a row I got it. Fortunately, it wasn't the flu, COVID, or strep. Do you have any personal things you do to avoid illnesses? I'm knock on wood. I've been pretty lucky the last couple of cruises. I mean, it's like anything, Ronnie. I mean, you can come back with my kids go to school. They're school age kids. That to me is the single greatest worst source of viruses ever. Ultimately, have I gotten it? Yeah, of course. I've definitely come back from it. It seemed like there was like a streak of cruises a couple of years ago where it was really like prevalent all the time. But recently I've been okay. But again, it's the luck of the draw, honestly, Ronnie. I think it depends on the season, right? There's a seasonality to it in a lot of cases where, during wintertime when the flu is very prevalent, RSV is a little more so, especially cruises in which people are spending more time indoors. But, again, knock on wood, I have not come back from any cruise this year with anything like that. But I have come back from other ones. I mean, in a lot of cases, actually, Ronnie, I feel like a lot of times when I come back with a cough, or congestion, it's usually from like exposure. In my opinion, I'm not a doctor, but exposure to like smoke in the casino because I spent some time down there. So try to spend more time outside as much as possible. But it's one of those situations where I try not to overthink it. Like, go out of my way to like avoid it, and then if I get it, I'm gonna be annoyed by it. Hey, Chad, first-time cruiser, does the internet package work on Western Caribbean cruises? It does indeed. Yes, absolutely. Bill Carico became a club member. Let's go, Bill. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, my friend. Dan Madelman, I am home, but Marina is on Explorer. Jeez, tough crowd there. Left you at home. She got on board and visited next cruise and booked 2 more cruises. All right, now it's worth it. That was a well-planned trip. There you go. I love it. Templar, do kids get the free Dave Diamond if their parents are Diamond? Yes, they do. Assuming they're under, 18, but yes, they do. Shannon, when allowing Royal Caribbean to pick your cabin, when do you find out the cabin you choose? It could be anytime, Shannon, between when you book it until the day of the cruise. There is no like this many days, this many weeks before the cruise. They will definitely let you know by that. It could really go up to the day of the cruise, if that makes sense. Does the internet package work at ports? It does, but obviously you have to be on the ship. Once you're off the ship, it doesn't work. There is internet, and it works with your package purchase at CocoCay, but that's it. That'd be off the ship, rather. Colleen B, thank you for the super chat. Are the pools heated when you go to Alaska or early spring in Europe, where the air may not be as warm? Thank you. It depends. Some ships, yes, some ships, no. I remember in a lot of cases when you're in colder weather, Colleen, the adults-only solarium may have hours for kids because that pool, either the pool is heated or it's enclosed. Like as an example, on the Radiance class ships in Alaska, that solarium is enclosed, so it's temperature controlled, and they'll have from this hour to this hour, it's family hour, and kids are allowed in there. That's one way to get around it, but it depends on the ship. Some ships, yes, some ships, no. Hot tubs are obviously always hot, but it depends on the ship. Good question. Let's see here. We got some more super chats coming in. Jane Doe, thank you for the super chat. Do you know if they stopped offering the Disney Universal Transportation Excursion? Have a sailing book for August. It's not listed as an option. I mean, I almost have to say this, Jane. I hope so. It's a bad tour. The reason why it's bad is because you get there too late to do anything in the parks and not wait in giant lines. And you have to leave too early to really make it worth your while. I mean, truly the best thing about it, maybe this is what you want to do. If you want to go to City Walk at Universal or Disney Springs at Disney World, that's not a bad idea. But you don't need a tour for that. Just use Lyft or Uber and schedule your rides and do your time management appropriately. But I always tell people, if they were going to do that excursion where, it would be like the Magic Kingdom Express or something like that, where they would bring you to Disney World and back on the same day if your cruise ship stopped in Port Canaveral for the day. But I always tell people it's a terrible idea. You get there too late. The one-day pricing for park tickets is insane. So I wouldn't be surprised if they got rid of it, but I'm not familiar if they truly made a decision on that. Chris K. Spear, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Have you ever done a one-way Alaska from Seward to Vancouver? I have not. Any thoughts on the train that takes you from Anchorage to Seward? I've heard great things about it, Chris. That train has been, I know a lot of people have done it, and they really, really like that quite a bit. Ron Ladowski, I read that Royal Caribbean is requiring free beverage cans for Diamond and above be open when you receive them from the bar staff. They were doing this on a few ships. Any news on this? Yeah, Ron, this is old news, my friend. This was like, when was it, like last fall, last winter? Like 24. It's not new. I mean, well, let me put it this way. Is it new this week or this month? No, it's from a couple months ago, but that is a fairly recent new policy. I also want to say a big thank you to all our super chatters already. You guys are amazing. You know, we've got such great supporters here who do the super chats, who are club members, who put up Tony Diaz. I mean, you guys are amazing. So I just want to say thank you again for all your supports. It's very welcome, unnecessary. Don't require it by any means, but just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Pee-wee guy, I'm going on Ovation to Cabo in June. I was wondering how that works with getting on the ship at night. It's like a floating hotel. Come and go as you please. You want to get the ship at 1 a.m.? Knock yourself out. But yeah, it's a floating hotel. Let's see here. Oh, Ronnie, you got some nice countdowns there, my friend. I like that. Good stuff right there. Mark says it's the tequila that keeps you from getting sick. You know, I had a lot of tequila with Kyle, and look at that. Maybe that is the truth to it. This is when I insert, Matt is not a registered medical professional. Please don't take any medical advice from this man. Nelly, go Yankees. Thank you for the super chat. Random, do you think they paid Bill Withers, who did the original Lovely Day, since they took his melody for CocoCay? They must have. I mean, there must have been some sort of a deal. Okay, so I'm going to go with yeah, probably, although I have no idea to what extent. KJ, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Ricky just recently hit Diamond Sass. Congratulations. Next cruise, you have Harmony staying in a grand suite. Will I get to use both lounges? And does the suite lounge have water and soft drinks all day? Good question. The answer is yes, you can use either lounge, the suite lounge or the crown lounge. There is beer and soda. There's beer, soda, and wine from 11 to 11. Water, I think maybe you can ask them for. I don't know if they store it somewhere you can easily get. Like at 3 o'clock in the morning. Do they have bottled water? Probably not. But they'll have from 11 to 11, which for most people I think is sufficient. So there you go. Will T, thank you for the very generous super chat, my friend. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks as always for what you do. We're heading out on Wonder of the Seas in June. What is the best bar for craft cocktails? Mason jar. What is the best place for a nice day on lunch? Oh my goodness. For a nice lunch on day one. I'm going to go with Giovanni's. Hard to go wrong with that. I think it's a great spot for that. So I'm going to go with yes. Let's see here. Good questions. Hey, Cruiseaholics Anonymous, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, what type of activities do you all do on the group cruises? Good question. So it depends on the cruise where we're going, but we try to schedule at least like one activity a day. One day it might be like, as an example, on Independence of the Seas, our next group cruise, we have rented out the ice skating rink. I think we've rented out the water slides too. And basically, if you booked into our group, we invite you to come join us for it. Other days, we might do a pub crawl. Like we were like, all right, we're gonna go visit, 4 or 5 bars in a row and sample a drink at each one. In other ports, we might do a shore excursion together, right? We're saying, all right, everybody back in the group, we're going to do this tour together. We try to come up with like one activity a day. We do a podcast recording. That's another one. It does depend on the itinerary, and it depends on the climate, I should say, right? But yeah, that's kind of the gist of it, quite frankly, which reminds me I need to post the Independence of the Seas group cruise schedule. Ice Cold in the chat. What's up, Ice? We all know Royal Caribbean is known for their big production shows, but in your opinion, what would be some of the other non-production type entertainment that's on famous? Oh, by far, actually, you know what's funny is I don't know if it's funny. It's not funny. It is. I love the live music. That's probably even better. Like the production shows are like, hey, let's make a commercial about that. But Ice, as a man that I know, as like yourself, that enjoys a cold, tall beer, the the pub. Not every ship, most ships, nearly all of them have an English style pub on there. I mean, I'm just going on a limb here and say this is probably your jam. And that's a great spot. And they have a guitarist who plays there in the evening. So he'll play Guns N' Roses. He'll play Country Roads. He'll play all sorts of bar songs. I love that's like my favorite thing, dude. Like I just love sitting there having drinks, listening to the musician play, yelling out requests. It's fantastic. So some might even say, Ice, it is very nice. Good to see you, my friend. Next question. Carter, why don't minors have crown anchor numbers? They do, actually. Believe it or not, they do. As soon as you go on a cruise with Royal Caribbean, you get one. If you don't know your crown and anchor numbers, two things you could do. One, you could call Royal Caribbean and be like, hey, what's my kid's crown and anchor number? Or two, next time you're on a cruise ship, ask the loyalty ambassador, hey, what's my kid's crown and anchor number? But they definitely do. So, yeah, there's sometimes it's like not obvious what it is because you have to look it up. Christopher Bayona coming in with his second super chat. Thanks to MEI Travel Connect. Booked Utopia 109 days. Can I get the chicken parm sandwich at Hideaway Beach, or do I have to walk to the general area? No, they have a Hideaway. They have a snack shack in there, don't they? Yes, they do. Yeah, you don't have to walk out. They got one in there. Diamond Dave Grossi. Diamond Dave, thank you for the super chat. 6 Days Odyssey Transatlantic. No question tonight. Just want to say hi, Dave. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Always a pleasure, my friend. Hope you and the family are doing well. Hope all is well, and hopefully you're going on a cruise very, very soon. Yeah, I agree. Hey, Smoke Bandit, how are you, my friend? I agree. There's no way that song is not licensed properly, for sure. I mean, you can do a parody, but you still gotta, you gotta pay the piper. Next question. Anyone had the pina colada at the Pesky Fair? I have. That was the first drink, David. Believe it or not, the very first alcoholic beverage I had on Utopia of the Seas ever was that drink. That was when I went on board for the day. And you all know I'm a man of research. I'm a man of science. And I was like, I need to test out all the new things in here because people are going to ask me about it. And that was the first cocktail I had on the clock, but it was research. Anyway, it was really good, actually. I like it. I mean, listen, if you're like me, you've had a bazillion pina coladas in your life. It's nice to have something a little bit different there. So it's really good. Let's see. Cruising with Kristen, any word on what's offered at Coco? You mean Perfect Day, Mexico? Currently not slated to go there, but just curious. There will be more information next month. There's an event where they're going to announce stuff that's what I'm aware of. So we'll have more information about that next month. Have you ever thought about changing the day you do your blog call? Okay, Grandpa, this isn't a call. This is a video chat. Unless you're talking about the one on Thursday, which, Grandpa, that's called Zoom, where people get together and talk on the video telephone that we call the computer. Perhaps your friend Craig can explain it to you with pictures and demonstrate and give you your Jell-O before you go to bed. Puffy Millie, more of a personal question, but how many cruises do you do a year? I try for about one a month. One a calendar month. Obviously, some months there's more than that. So I think last year I did like 15 or so. It was a lot. Jay Wanderman is here. It's been a long time, my friend. Going on Icon in May. Have they put backers in the aqua seats? They have not. So you got to have young Daniel reserve seats for you. Yeah. Hope you're doing well, Jay. Jason, thank you for the super chat. 20 days to Oasis for a group of 12, 5 cabins. Reservations are linked. Do you know if they'll seat us at a table for 12 in the main dining room, or should I coordinate with Royal Caribbean? Potentially, yes, they can. Here's what I would do, Jason. You did the right thing. So you link the reservations. What I would do is you could send an email to rcldining@rccl.com, R, Romeo, Charlie, Lima, dining, all one word, at rccl.com. And let them know your ship, sail date, reservation numbers, all of them, all 5 of them. But really what you want to do, Jason, most importantly, that's like optional. You don't even have to do that one. The linking reservations should fix it. But when you get on board the ship, here's what I absolutely would do is go speak to the head waiter. Go there like 1 o'clock on embarkation day and verify all of that. Nicole's flying into Miami the day before the cruise. What would you recommend for transportation from the airport to the hotel and then to the port of Miami? Lyft or Uber? Easy, simple, can't go wrong. Shannon, thank you for the super chat. Thoughts on limited dining on Icon family? I think of 3. It's that's a really good question because I love the dining package, especially right now, Shannon. I'm sure this is why you're asking me this. Today's the last day of their pop-up sale, and legit, if you're looking for a dining package, 3-nighter, unlimited, it's the best prices I've seen in a long time. I asked my neighbor Kenny if he wanted to do it, and he was like, "I'm too cheap. I'm going to go eat my shrimp cocktail in the main dining room." I was like, "All right, no worries." But for the unlimited dining package for Icon, here's the only problem, and it's not a problem. It's just like you should be FYI. The dining package for a lot of restaurants has a surcharge. So there's only 3 restaurants on Icon that you can go to and not pay a surcharge technically and have unlimited food. One would be Chops, Giovanni's, and Hooked. Like other restaurants, Hibachi has a surcharge. If you go to Playmakers or you go to Zumi Sushi, you get a stipend. So, I mean, it is included, don't get me wrong, but you could possibly go over that stipend is what I'm trying to say. I talked about this in a blog post when I went on Icon earlier this year, where I said, I really wish there was like one more like really good restaurant that is would be covered with the dining package in that way. So I think it's worth it. I mean, if you've never been on Icon, it's a great idea because those restaurants ain't cheap and don't go over the stipend and you're good. So just FYI kind of thing right there. Next question is from Lighthouse. Thank you for the super chat. Does Ratings have the Coke dispensers or Coke's only at the bar? I don't think they do. I was actually on cancel. I was on Ratings at the Seas in November, but I am not a soda package kind of guy, and I don't think I have an article about this where I think this is up to date. Is Radiance on the list? It is not. I'm gonna go with no. It is not. Can I bring a Lysol bottle on board? Absolutely, yes. Ed Vira. Ed, you've been a club member for 19 months. Re-listening to some of your last year's podcast about Utopia, and you kept mentioning other versions of Railway. Did they ever introduce them? Actually, they did. They did. I have it booked for September, I think. The whiskey tasting. There's a whiskey thing on there, but the what's it called? The Orient Express one, I don't believe has debuted yet. Thank you, Ed, for being a club member for 19 months. That's crazy, dude. Awesome. Larry the Lemon, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, my high school graduation is May 22nd. I sail on Wonder May 25th. What do you recommend we do if we get a rain day driving down from Nashville? Where do you mean, Larry? Do you mean like a rain day, embarkation day, or just like in general? I mean, here's the reality, and this is true if it's raining in Florida or it's raining in, Roatan. Rain in the tropics or subtropics, as Florida is very it's short-lived. It's not an all-day soaker. What usually happens, and this will happen to be the case in May, is in the morning it's beautiful. I mean, it's sunny. It's not beautiful. It's hot and humid out, but it's sunny. In the afternoon, the clouds roll in. You get an afternoon thunderstorm. Maybe it'll last 5 minutes. Maybe it'll last an hour, but then it clears back up after that. So it's pretty rare to have an all-day soaker in the summertime. So the good news is, my advice to you is, it won't be a rainy day. It'll just be some rain. But roll with the tide. Keep drinking until it stops raining. Matt doesn't start dancing in the pub until they start playing Taylor Swift. I mean, yeah, not wrong. Raymond Weaver, thank you for the super chat. Have you tried the new cruise package with cell phone companies? If you have, how does it compare? I have not yet, but in the interest of full disclosure, AT&T did send me a device to test out. So when I go to, my plan is I'm going to Ensenada, Mexico on Ovation of the Seas. That's my next cruise in the end of May. And then in Europe, I'm taking it there too. So I'm going to test it in both Europe and Mexico and then have a review of it, Ray. So the answer is I haven't tested it yet. My advice, listen, I haven't tested it yet. Whatever. I still think unless I'm anticipating that the speeds are simply not going to be as good as Voom. Never mind the reception problems, because if you're down in deck 2 in the middle of the ship, I don't know how the reception is, but I don't want to jump to conclusions. I don't want to assume anything, but I still believe that a a VOOM package is probably, I'll put it to the test, but my working assumption is that the VOOM internet package is still a better deal. Chris, I would appreciate your thoughts on this. I've been at CocoCay 3 times in the last 6 months. It has no Caribbean feel to it, not the food or music or anything. They also charge you for everything. They don't charge you for everything, sir. I mean, to be fair, Chill Beach free, Oasis Lagoon free, South Beach free, Breezy Bay free, Harbor Beach free, Splashaway Bay free, Captain Jill's Galleon free, Snack Shack free, Chill Grill free, Skipper's Grill free, beach chairs, umbrellas free. Now it does have a Caribbean feel. I mean, yeah, it's a fake island. This isn't Jamaica. I mean, it's there's a little bit of bohemian flair to it, but it's it's a cruise line private island. I mean, it's meant to be a really amazing beach day for you to relax, not an authentic deep dive into Caribbean culture. I don't think Royal Caribbean is trying to pass it off as anything other than that. But they really don't charge you for everything. I feel like it's I think to be fair, there's plenty of things that are included. There are things that do cost extra. Cocoa Beach Club, Water Park, Hideaway Beach. You don't have to go to those places. In fact, I bet you in chat right now, people are telling you can have a great time without spending any money. So let's take that out of the equation. As for the authentic factor, I mean, we discussed that. You're right. It's not. But I would simply say that doesn't make it a bad thing. It makes it just a great beach day, just kind of a relaxing, hey, let's have a great day, sitting in the sun, splashing, drinking, having some tacos, because they do have tacos. Not that that's Caribbean, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like it's a fun day. I think if you want more of a Caribbean feel, that's reserved for when you go to, Cozumel, or you go to Roatan, or you go to St. Thomas, right? I mean, that's my thoughts on it anyway. Annette, where can I find the latest article that you wrote? RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Good questions, guys. Loft Floating Adventures, not LA. Loft Floating Adventures. Welcome back. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, our 2025 just got upgraded. We got Star Inaugural, President's Cruise, Star for Christmas, and Odyssey for New Year's Eve. Dang. Grace is truly the best. We're canceling our other cruises all with one email. Nice. Dude, that is a heavy hitters lineup of cruises there, my friends. I love that. I'll see you on the President's Cruise. So I think it's the only one I've got lined up that we will have crossover on. So please say hello. Next question is from B Fighter. Is Star of the Seas going to be mainly catered towards children? No. I mean, it's no different than any other Royal Caribbean ship out there. There are areas for kids, surfside, pool areas. There's places for adults. There are certain activities that are a blend, and there's certain activities that just lean towards being adult friendly. Like the casino as an example. No more, no less than Icon, and quite frankly, than the Oasis class. There's something for everybody. Is really what I love about Royal Caribbean. Ed Vira, thank you for the super chat, Ed. We've all missed your printer. You have to do, don't you? As the printers become the show's mascot, you have to create plush versions to raise money for Mercy ships. I mean, that's obviously a wonderful cause, but I hate to completely rip off Emma Cruises with we're going to create plushes for this. I mean, it's a great idea. And I love the idea, the gesture, but love it. Tilly, can you let us know the update on the 3-night dining package? It says we can book before the ship. Yes, that's correct. I posted an article about this today at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. So Tilly, if you go to RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, go to the homepage, it's right there with the update and all the information on there. What are your thoughts on what's going to happen with Labadee? I mean, listen, if we've learned anything over the last 2 years, is that you never know. I mean, I think what they're going to do is they're going to hit the pause button until Haiti, like I said this before, I've said this before, but Haiti is always in a level of awfulness. It's just a question of is it bad to really bad? And when it goes back to being bad, they feel comfortable. Now, I'm not privy to any information, Peter, so I have no idea, did they pause the visits this week to Labadee because there is a credible threat to it? Or do they pause the visits because things are bad in Haiti and they just don't think the optics make a lot of sense? Something else altogether? We don't know. So I feel like it's going to be one of those like got to play it by ear, wait and see, which is probably not what you want to hear, but it is what it is. Larry, thank you again for the super chat. Rainy day means we get our high school graduation put. Oh, wait a minute. So Larry, all right, my high school graduation is May 22nd. I sell on the 25th. What do you recommend we do if we get a rainy day? Oh, well, when would they push back the graduation? I mean, you have 3 days in between. You can always go to your next high school graduation. I mean, yeah, hopefully they don't push it back more than a day or two is my best recommendation to you. Travel insurance, though, that'd be a good investment. It's always a good investment. Clinton, will you be on the inaugural Legend of the Seas Transatlantic? I mean, no, I'm not. I will not be there. I will. I'm on the inaugural Legend in Europe, the first sailing there, and I'm on the inaugural Legend in Fort Lauderdale, but not the transatlantic. I know our good friend Craig Hart, who's in the chat, Kenny's best friend, is going to be on the transatlantic. Thomas is Royal Caribbean ever going to go back to main dining dress code enforcement? Because I will not go on Royal Caribbean cruises if they're not going to ruin the ambiance by allowing slobs. I don't think they will, Tom. I think it's just one of those like it's lose-lose for them. Because if they enforce the rule, people are upset. If they don't enforce the rule, people are upset. So, by doing simply nothing and being like, well, here's the policies, your choice to follow it or not. I feel like they feel it's the lesser of 3 evils in that case. So lesser of 2 evils. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, most people show up to the dining room dressed however they want to do it. I don't think I don't think the dining room should look like a scene out of Titanic. It should not be black tie. It shouldn't even be what's below black tie. Like, obviously, but on the other end of the spectrum, before you jump down my throat, Tom, I would agree with you on this. Like, people should not be there in a bathing suit or flagrantly not sit down dinner attire. But things change, unfortunately, and it is what it is. Mr. Craig Hart, the aforementioned Craig Hart, Kenny's best friend. Thank you for the 11 months of being a club member. Hype train for Blaker Andy 97 for his first cruise on Utopia next Monday. This is the longest 7 days for him, dude. Yeah, this is what is the word? Unfortunate truth? No, a uncomfortable truth that last I would say last 2-3 weeks, but yes, that last week before your cruise, man, it's the slowest 7 days of your life, but it'll be worth it when you get on there for sure. Next question is from Maurice. Do you have any plans to go on MSC? The New World America looks very similar to Icon. I don't. You may have heard we did a podcast episode which came out on our YouTube channel last week about this topic. But one of our writers, Elizabeth from Cruise.blog, will be on there later this summer. So, yeah. Good question. Next question. When will they announce the special entertainment guests for the President's Cruise? Usually like a month before the sailing, something like that. It's pretty close in. Dan, Matt, we took your advice and canceled rebooked Hideaway Beach when it dropped in price. It was simple to do. It was $82. Dude, that's fantastic. Love it. Peter, do you think the Royal Beach Club will open on time? Yes, they did. I think they will. I can't say any more than that, but I think they will. Next question is from Ann Whipple. Ann, thank you for the super chat. 13 days of Harmony in an owner suite. What can we expect, and when will the concierge contact us? So, Ann, you'll get an email from the concierge a little less than a week before you're sailing, right around like 5 days or so with, hey, Miss Whipple, welcome, blah, blah, blah. But you're going to basically, and we've done some videos and articles about this, Ann, about what to expect here on RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. But essentially, you're going to get access to the concierge lounge, or the suite lounge, rather, is what they call it. The concierge services, which are like your own little guest services, but complimentary drinks in there, hors d'oeuvres served as well. It's a great place for reading. They have a coffee machine, which is available 24 hours. Really, really nice as well. So take advantage of it. It's one of the best things. And of course, the Sweet Sun Deck is fantastic as well. Take advantage of that as well. Next question is from Jim Statham. Jim, thanks for the super chat. Going to St. Martin on Wonder of the Seas next week. Any tips to get between Phillipsburg and Marigot and back? I would probably, if I were you have two choices. One is you could arrange transportation beforehand. So you Google, St. Martin or Phillipsburg taxi service, something like that. There are gentlemen and ladies who will be standing out there when you walk through the gates. There's also taxis right there. You don't have to go through the gates. When you go through the market area, before you get to the gate, there's like a horseshoe circle where the taxis come in there, and you can easily hop in a taxi, get on your way, and go. And then on the way back, two options. One, you could Marigot is a city. It's the capital of the French side. There will be taxis there. Or the taxi driver that brings you there, if you like him or her, be like, hey, can you come pick us up at this time? There you go. And that works even better. So there isn't a right or wrong. It just depends on what you're looking for. Do you want a tour guide? Do you just want a taxi? That kind of stuff. Let's see here. John is checking in from on board Odyssey of the Seas off the coast of Charleston. Loving it right now. Going to be in Florida in about 15 hours. Nice. Enjoy your cruise. I love Odyssey of the Seas. Great ship. Joe Addison. Joe, thanks for the super chat. What's the max you would pay for the Cocoa Beach Club? I mean, but I've been there a bunch of times. 150 maybe a person, and that would require something significant like my neighbor Kenny coming on the cruise. But if you've never been there before, I mean, it is what it is. The good thing, though, Joe, is that a lot of times there are sales. Like Black Friday, I was able to get the Cocoa Beach Club for significantly cheap. I think I have it lined up for like spring break next year for like, I don't know, $75 a person or something like that, $99 a person, which is a great deal, I think, especially in 2025. So anyway, if you could time it with a sale, that's great. Would I pay any price? No, but it's like over $200 a person. I just personally don't think it's worthwhile. But that's because I've been there before, and I feel like my value proposition is quite different. Amy says, thanks to MEI Travel for helping us reserve 2 more upcoming cruises. Saved hundreds of dollars. That's awesome. Thank you for supporting our sponsor. And John Paul, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Enjoy Odyssey. I am jealous. Next question, is Chef's Table included in limited dining? It's not. You get money off of it, Skyfrog, but you got to pay I forget how much money, but you have to pay on top of it. So yeah. Let's see here. Ricky Roberts. Thank you for the super chat. Ricky, I don't see a message from you, my friend. Let me see if I can find it. Ricky Roberts. Just kidding. Oh, because I can't spell Ricky. Ricky. There it is. Question. Symphony. Best lunch on embarkation day for Symphony of the Seas. Either Playmakers or Giovanni's. Depends if you want like a sit-down meal. I mean, they're both sit-down, but like, sit down, like fork and knife, or beer and knife. Whichever floats your fancy there would be my recommendation for you. Thank you, Ricky, for your super chat. Robbie Jones. Robbie, thank you for the super chat. Wife and I have only been cruising just over 2.5 years. We only have 25 points, so we reached Diamond. We should achieve this by the end of the year. We enjoy your content. Thank you. Well, thank you, Robbie. That's awesome, dude. Once you get a Diamond, it really does change how you cruise. The free drinks, the free day of internet, it does add up. It really makes a difference in there. It really does compel you to keep going, because then it's like, well, we could go to Nashville, but there's no free drinks there. But there's free drinks on Royal Caribbean. It makes a difference. Don Buffalo, taking the family on our first cruise in February of 27. When are you able to start looking at beverage packages? There isn't an exact time, Don, where it's like, this many months beforehand it appears. It's just like one of those things where like magically it shows up. I tell people like, certainly within 6 to 9 months, it'll be there. So less than a year, let's say, but you're obviously within less than a year. It's still not there yet. So, wait until, like I said, 6 to 9 months, it'll just magically show up at some point. It's just strange how there's not really a cadence to it. It just magically appears one day. Christine, when I enable Wi-Fi calling and ask for an emergency address to enter, what should be used since we won't be at the one physical address? Honestly, Christine, I just put my home address. Ultimately, If you're somewhere else, it doesn't matter. It's just like it's a policy regulation for the telecom industry, but don't worry, you don't have to update. In fact, I don't even know if you can update it, but I just have my home address in there, and I'm pretty sure it's like 2 houses ago when I did it. Anyway, yeah, just put anything in there. It's totally fine. Lot Floating Adventures. We're looking to get married on a ship next year or 27. Which ship would you have the best venue? I know most use the music hall, but not sure would be other options. So Voyager class ships and Freedom class ships use the Star Lounge. That's actually, I think, the best venue. So I'm going to say a Mariner of the Seas, an Explorer of the Seas, a Navigator. That'd be the one for you. Let's see here. Let me get a drink of water. Ashley Cruise fan, help please. Unable to book 3-night dining package for Wonder in June. Package is not sold out. Not doing a new reservation. It only comes up to book with the modify button like unlimited. That's interesting. One question. Oh no, Wonder. I was going to ask, is it Star? It's not. Because Star, you can't book it. That Star doesn't exist. That feature. So there's a couple things you could do. Obviously, the price is going to, I think, expire at midnight. So you could still book it and then do it the old-fashioned way once you get on board the ship. But when you do a new reservation, I don't know if it has the feature. As far as I know, I have not tested this, Ashley. But the way that it's worked the 3-night dining package is, the way that I observed it, is when you're doing a new reservation. If you already had the 3-night dining package, you may not be able, you'd have to cancel and rebook, which honestly, with today's sale, might actually still be cheaper at the same price. You might want to price that out before you cancel it. But I've only seen it work when you make a new reservation, but I haven't tested it the other way around yet. Let's see here. We have time for a couple more questions, guys. We're running out of time already. Bonjo, thank you for the super chat. Do you like... I don't know what this means. It feels like you're trolling right now, but thank you for the super chat. How is the internet on Royal Caribbean ships looking at master's degree programs? It's actually really good. Since they switched over to Starlink, it's still satellite internet, so it sometimes goes out. But honestly, as someone who relies heavily on the internet, it's worked out really well. Obviously, video calls can be a little iffy, but I've generally found it pretty reliable. Yeah, especially on a new ship. So as long as you're on like a new ship, it's still good on old ships too. But like Icon, it was rock solid. What is my favorite Oasis class ship? Wonder of the Seas. Speed round of questions. We can do that, Kenny. It's a good idea. We'll do that at the very end. Give me 2 more minutes here, and then we'll wrap it up with that. Rebecca, family of 4, 2 teens, flying from Maryland to Fort Lauderdale 2 days prior to the cruise, staying at the Embassy Suites. Any pre-cruise excursions we should look for? What food we can walk to? I don't know where you're staying though, because if you're staying near Los Olas Boulevard, which is in downtown Fort Lauderdale, that's fantastic. See, Rebecca, I love the idea you want to do small business supporter. South Florida and Florida in general is urban sprawl. It's not like small town USA where you can walk to a lot of places. It's just like things just so there's not so much walking as it is like let's drive a few miles down the road and all of a sudden there's a lot more things there. Downtown Fort Lauderdale, Los Olas Boulevard is fantastic. The other place is Dania Beach, but Dania Beach is not small businesses. This is like corporate dining. But I would probably say for that, if you want small business supporter, I would definitely go to Los Olas Boulevard. LOS_OLAS Boulevard. If you'll find that street, there's a ton of hotels around there. That'd be what I would recommend. William Ryman. William, thank you for the super chat. No question tonight. Hope all is well, and thanks for all you do. Thank you, William. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for your support. All right, guys. We're going to do a speed round before we wrap things up over here. So please type your questions in chat. Like yes or no, this or that, really quick. Like, let's see how many questions we can get in the next, 2 minutes. I know there's a little bit of a delay from when I say this to when you actually see it and type it, blah, blah, blah. So, we'll try to do it as fast as we can. Well, while we're waiting for that, Ryan, if you turn Pinnacle on a sailing less than 5 nights, will they recognize your mouse on your next 5-nighter or longer sailing, or do you miss out on it? You never miss out on it. They'll recognize it. You just got to, what I would do, Ryan, is I would talk to the loyalty ambassador on that sailing to confirm that's the case. Because I have seen it. I know one of my good friends, Ashley, I don't think she's in the chat. I know there's probably many people named Ashley, but she did that where she deferred it to a specific sailing because it made more sense to do so. So just talk to the loyalty ambassador and they can usually coordinate that. Yankees win the World Series. I want to say yes, KJ, but I think the Dodgers just stacked the deck so badly this year that, I mean, I love the Yankees, but I don't see it. Labadee substitution ports, Puerto Plata, Dominican, or Nassau. What's my karaoke song? You've Lost That Love and Feeling. Any intel on Isla Me? I don't know what that is, so no. Metallica or Taylor Swift? I mean, I like Metallica. I'm gonna say Taylor Swift. Sorry, I'm old enough. I don't have to apologize for, even though I said it's, I'm old enough that I don't care what you all think about my musical taste anymore. I don't have to impress anybody. Tip and crew, U.S. dollars or euros on a med cruise? U.S. dollars. Stanley Cup champions? Are the Whalers still a team? What is your opinion of Freedom? Quantum of the Seas. Great ship. Independence, Giovanni's or Chops for lunch? Giovanni's. Freedom or Mariner? Mariner. It's close, though. Ooh. Freedom, but by a nose, man. Casita on Odyssey during the Med? I say no. I don't love casitas for a couple different reasons, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Icon or Wonder? Icon. Is Utopia worth the extra $400 over Utopia? Wonder worth the extra $400 over Utopia? Sure. You only live once. YOLO. Do them both. Then you can find out for yourself. Is Relic worth it? As long as you understand the downside, the realities of it. It can be, but I don't usually recommend it. Kenny or Craig Hart? Craig Hart. Craig's on my Thursday Zoom calls, and Kenny can't be bothered. Hey, joining in late from Vision of the Seas. Welcome. Star or Legend? Oh my goodness, Michelle. This is like Batman or Superman. I mean, I'm excited more for Legend because it's gonna be in Europe, but Star is coming out sooner, so I'm gonna say Star because I'm more about instant gratification. Balcony or interior for a Legend transatlantic? Balcony. I think it's worth it. There's been a lot of days where we're sitting there taking naps or whatnot. Good place to visit in the Bahamas. Go to resortforaday.com. Go Marlins. Oh man, they're so bad. I mean, they're not as bad to start the year as I thought they were going to be, but yeah. Listen, I love Metallica as much as I love the Black Album Metallica, but beyond the Black Album, I can't name one other Metallica song out there. And I think all their new stuff is like whatever. Sorry. Whereas I can name a lot of more Taylor Swift songs because at the end of the day, I just want songs I can sing along to. Now listen, so well I can't even name one song right now. There are Metallica songs I can sing along to and I enjoy, but there's not as many. So just saying. Symphony or Wonder? Wonder. Best ship for Alaska? No, I don't think it matters that much. Pick whichever one works for you. Jay Osteen, what's going on, man? Welcome. And last question of the day is from Ricky. I was rushed to do check-in and don't like the picture I took. Should I change it? I don't want to lose my early AM. Oh, it doesn't matter. That has no change on it, Ricky. When you do it in the app, do it in the app. Don't do it on the website. Go in the app. You can edit your photo without affecting your check-in time. It has no effect on that whatsoever. So just do it in the Royal Caribbean app. I'm on your Thursday calls. Don't get that type of respect. We love you, Tony. Listen, Tony, you can ask Teresa or anyone in there. I mean, I always ask, where's Tony at? So that's respect right there. Just saying. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Amazing support again today. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the club memberships. Thank you for being here. 1 second. Club memberships. Hold on a second. I think we have a call this week. Wait, is it this week or next week? Hold on. Stand by. Saying this now. The 23rd, which is, what day is the 23rd? Wednesday? Yes. Wednesday night, club members. We're doing a live. I'll have the 7 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock. Becky is going to lose her mind if we do it at 7:30. 7 o'clock, club members, live broadcast just for you right here on YouTube. So looking forward to hanging out with all of you guys. 7 o'clock on Wednesday, Eastern time. Miss Betty, check out Benson Boone. I can't. He's my kids love him, but my goodness, he's a one-hit wonder. When they created the mold for one-hit wonders, they made it out of that sheepskin vest he wears. Anyway, have a great week, everybody. Stay safe out there. Do something fun. And we'll talk again very soon. You do not have a doctor's appointment at 7 o'clock in the evening, Tony. And I live in New York and things are different there, but it ain't that different, my friend. All right, guys. Have a great week, everybody. Stay safe. Do something fun like book another cruise. And we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everyone.